Valiant.
Welcome to Get Valiant number 191. An amazing Shadowman number 2 today. Something else we'll talk about. And I am alone for a quick second because Josh is here with me. What's up, Josh?
Hello. I'm glad to be here on the big 191.
191. 9 to go. Gosh dang it. To 200.
We're heading toward the really big 200.
And then we're going to be old. Oh, man. Yeah. I'm glad we kept doing books when there wasn't, or review some of these episodes when there was nothing to talk about. So I'm glad there's 2 books we could talk about this month for Shadowman number 2 and Savage 4.
I do wonder with like the way the publication schedule is, how long it's going to take us to hit 200. It's like, might not be for, it might be 2022 by the time that happens.
It'll be a while. And of course, say what's up to Scott Bloom. Scott's on, so good to hear you, Scott. Scott's asking him, no Eric. Yep. Eric is he's doing Eric. So Eric, I hope you're having fun hope you're having fun, Eric.
I was gonna say that sounds really weird. Like
back in conversation, a little bit different.
Yeah. No, Eric's living it up. So sometimes you gotta do that. Sometimes you gotta take a break,
Yeah.
So
exactly, man. Dude, well, you didn't get to come on to you had prior obligations like children or something last month when we got to have a couple Valiant podcast on and then a surprise guest with Colin Bunn.
I know, and I felt really bad because my wife got a new job and her new job is in Denver and she doesn't have to work there, but sometimes she has to fly there. So to have her to go to her new job, she had to leave that week to go to Denver to meet the new employer. And it sucked because I was the one originally who was like, oh man, a year ago we did this really awesome podcast with all these cool cats. We should try to do something like that again. And then our great friend at Valiant, Greg Katzman, was like, oh yeah, well, let me start sending some emails out. Everything got set up, but then I was stuck at home alone with all 3 kids and I couldn't get my kids to bed on time. And then Colin Bunn shows up on Get Valiant. And I was like, what the hell? I would love to talk to Colin. I've never met Colin.
Oh, man.
And I've been reading his books long before he worked for Valiant, too. So it was really it was a huge bummer. I got to watch the end of it. And I think I hopped on the chat like the last 10 minutes of it.
Yeah.
But, it was a bummer. It happens.
Yeah. Don't ever miss an episode. It's what happens. You never know what you're going to get here. I actually did it in Vegas. I was in Vegas, like standing like downstairs at the Mirage, it was a little interesting. I mean, I'm pretty sure people were looking at like, what's this guy doing? He's sitting here talking to his computer the whole time. I guess a lot of people are doing that now these days, but not sitting at the Mirage Casino.
I think that just shows your dedication because I know that we had an episode earlier this year where the power went out and you were out in your car for an hour.
Hey, it happens.
I mean, you do what you do, man. We appreciate that level of dedication around these parts.
You know what? We have to stay valiant.
That's right. Stay valiant. Get valiant and stay valiant.
That's right. Hashtags on Double Up. But dude, there's Savage or obviously Shadowman number 1. We actually didn't even really score it. It's kind of weird scoring a book with the creator on there.
Oh yeah. Where he's like, wait, why would you want to give it that?
Right?
Out of 5.
I do like how I screwed with everybody because I was like, so who would you really have wanted as your all-star creators on this? He's like, what were they supposed to say? Well, they were supposed to say you, of course, but there's some pretty awesomeness there.
Hey, there was something I wanted to talk to you about. This is a tiny bit off topic, only a tiny bit though. I wanted to know, are you going to Rose City this year?
I am indeed, dude. I saw that you got I got my ticket a while back. I was like, you know what? They usually have a Black Friday thing to get your tickets really cheap. But they're usually really good with press tickets too. But being COVID what it is, I went ahead and got their Black Friday ones in November. So yeah, definitely going to be hitting up Rose City. I love that. It's my favorite show. Yeah,
I bought a ticket and I was like, should I try and get a press pass? And I was like, I'm not going to. I kind of just want to I haven't been to a show for a long time.
Mm-hmm.
And I think there's for people who don't know, when you have a press pass, if you write for an outlet, you got to do some work. And I've kind of been out of the game a little bit. I didn't go last year to Emerald City, and I haven't been doing interviews for probably like a year and a half. It's been a while since I've done anything other than just like straight comic interviews. So I was like, I think I'm just gonna like get a press pass, or not. I'm just gonna get like a regular pass. But I got like a special pass for the 3 days.
Cool.
So I'm looking forward to it. It seems like a lot of people I know are gonna go. But I remember you were always like, Rose City's awesome. So I wanted to check with you and see if you're going.
Well, it's mine partly because I can, have beer walking up and down the aisles, and you can't do that in a lot of other cons. So
weirdly enough, you can do that in Salt Lake. It's very weird because Utah has such all the liquor stores in Utah are state owned.
Right.
So it's always like the Utah State liquor store. You don't buy liquor you can buy beer like a gas station or something like that, but really it's the weirdest liquor laws I bet in the country are here. But at a convention, at Salt Lake Comic-Con, for instance, people all the time would come up to us holding beers, and I always thought, that's so weird here. You can do that,
right? It's cool. Might have to hiccup. I don't know if I'll have to hit that one up. But
you don't have to. They do very little comics.
But Rose City, dude, I'm pumped up that you're going. It's going to be a good one in September. And so that's around the corner too. So I'll probably hit that. I'll definitely hit up that. And if Emerald City's up, I'm definitely hitting that up. And so,
Emerald City happens at such a bad time of year. I thought
December.
I was like, can you just put it to like February, maybe?
You might as well go back to your regular March. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and the thing is, like a convention in December, it's just not going to ever happen for me.
Money wise, time wise, price wise, traveling. We'll see. And then also, December sucks in Washington State and Seattle. It's cold, it's wet, it's not fun. I would much rather have it, March where it's starting to warm up a little bit. We'll see. But dude, I'm pumped up you're coming.
I know. I got 4 months to bug Eric to go now. So I can't wait to just harass him nonstop about how he should go to a convention and meet us.
Dude. Yeah, we'll give him a hard time.
Oh yeah. And if you are listening or watching us, you should do the same thing.
Yep. Yeah, it'll be fun. It'll kind of be good not having the press because you're not feeling obligated to do much stuff, but probably still do a little bit of coverage stuff there while we're there.
Yeah,
and
definitely.
I get to run into some cool people that I know I'm going to see there. So that's what'll be fun. So I'm in for that. One of them, they showed his Ninja cover of Ibrahim Mustafa.
Very nice guy.
He's going to be there, and I'm pretty sure that we're also going to get Robert Myers. He's in Portland now, working for Oni Press, so he'll probably be there. So there'll be some fun people to kind of touch base with.
Oh yeah, definitely.
And then recently, some changes happened with Valiant, and we didn't really get to talk about that at the last show a little bit. But Heather Antos is not on the way out. She's out the door. And there was so much surrounded about that, about how press was saying that she got booted out and then that she just left, but not from my understanding. From my understanding is that something opened up with IDW to work on the Marvel line with our IDW with the children's Marvel and Star Wars properties. So it's a good fit for her.
Yeah, I was going to say, she got to have a last day there, so I don't think she got fired,
Right.
There's always, with Heather, there's always going to be that contingent that, wants to, shit all over her for no reason. I'm kind of, it's kind of bittersweet because, she's really nice, and I had the chance to talk to her a few times at Emerald City. I feel like she wasn't, a great fit at Valiant.
Right.
Whereas for her to go to IDW to work on, Spider-Man and Star Wars or whatever else they do with Marvel, she's a great fit for that. That's totally her wheelhouse.
Right.
So I think for her, it's always it sucks whenever anyone leaves Valiant, especially right now with the pandemic where you're just what is how strong is this company right now? No matter who's leaving, how strong is this company really, But, I wish her the best of luck. It sounds like she gets to really get back to what she really enjoys, which is those Marvel properties. And she's a humongous Star Wars fan. And we'll just see where the books that she was working on go from there, because I'm probably not alone. Like a lot of people didn't really dig EXO. I think a lot of people. We'll talk a little bit about Savage, but people really didn't dig Savage from like the feedback we've received.
Yep.
But then at the same time, Quantum and Woody was great. Another great Quantum and Woody series.
I did like Quantum and Woody.
She did bring different people in that we hadn't experienced their work. I mean, it's just we'll just see,
Yeah, I didn't like Livewire, the last 2 arcs. I know kind of like her last arc when she jumped on, because I believe that started before her. But now we got David Wall, who's going to take over on Shadowman. Looks like he's taking over on Exo Manowar as well. So some cool another editor's sitting there in the mix, ready to take grasp of what's to come. And hopefully we get I know we're getting Exo back soon. That's still going to be with that same creative team, Hopeless, David Hopeless, or Dennis Hopeless, and Emilio Lasso. And then, but I don't know how long, if that's going to go another arc or not. And I don't know.
I imagine we're getting one more arc if they're going to.
Yeah. Oh no, they've already kind of teased it, so it's already been. It's already been put out there.
I saw a bunch. I feel like I've seen a bunch of cover artwork already for issue 5. And I was pretty impressed with what I saw. I don't love the new armor look. However, there was a cover that was released by Tyler Kirkham, who does a bunch of work at other publishers, and I thought the cover work he did looked great with the new armor. But I'm still not really sold on that whole look. But we'll see what it's like when it comes back. It wasn't my favorite thing I was reading. It wasn't my favorite EXO I was reading either. So, but my expectations are a bit low, so you could win me back pretty easy with like a decent story arc.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. And then it looks like August solicitations, Ninjak number 2 and Exo number 5.
All right.
So it means Shadow Man's going to take a break between arcs, it looks like.
Oh, that's just
I'm not really a fan of that. And they're advertising the Shadow Man omnibus too. So those are kind of the solicits that recently came out. But the Ninjak covers look good. Won't say much about the interior. And then some pretty decent looking covers for Exo number 5. So I'll score at that. Yeah. And then see what David Wall would bring with the future of those characters that piece of the Valiant. And I know Heather had a big tie-in with the Final Witness, and I don't think it's very in any continuity. And right now, with only 2 titles, I feel like they should hold off on something that's not in continuity until they could produce more books.
Yeah.
I want to see it. I like the creative team, Ray Fox and Jeremy Hahn. I think those guys are amazing creatives. But if it's not in continuity, I wish it would hold off till we could get more books.
Yeah, and it's just a shame too, because it's unfortunate to know that there's going to be a break with Shadowman.
Yeah,
I feel you. Scott says I really hate those breaks. Yeah, me too. I feel like everybody else is ramping up, and I don't know every single little thing about why Valiant can't put out more than 2 to 3 books a month. I know that when The Visitor comes back, they're going to finish it out real quick, and that'll be great. But I did have hope just as a fan. That when we got Shadowman, it was going to be cool. We got Shadowman, and we'll have Exo and Ninjak, hopefully all at the same time. No, not really.
Yeah.
But again, I don't know everything that's going on. I don't know. I can't imagine it's like a problem with the publisher, but I don't know.
I think when you look at it, a lot of it comes down to sales too, right? If you're selling a bunch of books, so you're probably going to produce more. So I don't know what that is on that. If it's shortening the staff at the office to only have a little bit, we'll see what happens there. Yeah. But it's hopefully 2023 gets us a lot more, and we get more continuity, and we get more of these books to come out on the regular. And I was going to say the only one that kind of was against that was Rye and then Divinity, right? Those 2 books were kind of split apart arcs, but I do like it when it's just coming in because it's just momentum. I feel like it's just momentum of getting things going. So
Yeah, I just hope that we're just not looking at like
4
we get
months.
three books and then a break on every like ongoing.
Yeah.
It's just kind of disappointing, Like we've said this before. If you don't give me a bunch of Valiant stuff to buy, I'm just gonna start buying a lot of other stuff, and I'm already just really starting to buy a lot of other shit.
I need a new bookshelf. I bought a whole
I'm
bunch
missing
of shit.
that I'm missing that feeling where I have like a whole bunch of like new Valiant books. Like I had to go buy a new coffee mug this like yesterday just because I was like I need to buy something Valiant. I don't have. I went to that the Harada website and bought a
Nice
Archer and Armstrong mug.
Heck yeah. Everybody needs a little Archer and Armstrong, just like we do as well.
Oh yeah.
I'm down for that. Yeah, dude, I agree. I mean, I've been buying more stuff non-Valiant because there hasn't been enough Valiant to buy. And so kind of getting the love outside of that. But I guess, I don't know if there's much more news than that. You want to get into a little bit of books?
Yeah, let's talk the books. Let's get Savage out of the way.
Let's do it.
It's spoiler pause.
It's a spoiler pause, guys, and a spoiler alert. So welcome. Let's talk Savage, and let's yeah. And first, I guess first instincts. Let's go with Savage, Max Bemis on writing it, Nate Stockman art, Triona Farrell doing colors, letters by Hassan, covers by Marcus II, Paulina, and Peach Monaco. So, yeah.
I did like the pre-order cover.
I would have to say one of the things that's been a real big miss, sadly, on this has been the covers for this series. I
agree.
Have not really enjoyed. This is the best looking one of the bunch. But to me, though, I'm comparing it to the old series, it's even the bloody soccer ball I felt like was a little bit more relevant. The bloody ticket for the soccer match was cool. The shield of the soccer team was cool. The bloody trophy, you know what I mean? They had that whole run on all 4 of them. And then they had some really cool, what's his face? Luis LaRosa covers. Dude, Nicholas, thank you so much.
Yeah, Nicholas says, how did I miss this stream? Love Shadowman 2. Been stocking up on Valiant back issues as much as possible. But this new run is amazing. It is, and we're glad you're liking it.
Absolutely.
And, Shadowman is honestly, to me, like one of the major cornerstones of the Valiant universe. So there's a lot of love from my end towards Shadowman at all times.
Absolutely, man. Thank you for that super chat. Appreciate it. Yeah, dude, I'm glad you're on the stream. Please participate and join, man. We appreciate the conversation about Valiant books. But yeah, getting into Savage, let's get Savage, but we're going to cover Shadowman for sure too. Number 2. But yeah, I haven't been really feeling the covers of the Savage book. I really thought some of these were really, really corny, like this wannabe Nike one.
But I think even this Nike one is better than there's one of them that's like a shampoo ad. And it's really cheesy. Really, really, really cheesy.
Yes. Yeah, I agree. So
I mean, this issue kind of, I think all the pieces kind of fell into place with this one. There's the revelation that his brother is maybe not quite the good dude that he may have seemed to have been. And he's kind of had it in for the younger Savage brother like his whole life. He's hated him since he was like a baby. And, from there, it's just a big bloody battle royale between Savage and the dinosaurs. And
did you notice this editing boo-boo here?
Which one?
On this page. Oh, well, let me kind of show you. That Woody Valiant is Woody, and then there's another Woody Valiant that's Quantum. And they didn't quite get they didn't quite get that together. They should have been Quantum Valiant. So little mistake there on their end. That was a
Well, hold
Hold
on.
on.
What you don't know is that's Woody's burner account, and
He has the same one.
it's not
Woody
an
Valiant,
L.
Woody Valiant.
It's a 1. That's probably what it is. You just can't tell.
Okay, quit justifying it. They screwed up.
I don't want to justify anything, but I mean, it was an ending, and then I mean, like the thing that's been kind of hard with Savage is it's just none of us have really liked it. It seems like such a schizophrenic property to me with Valiant because we've had 8 issues of this book now, and 4 of them were just like hardcore, serious in tone, graphically violent between this outcast of the far away and the people that still resided there. And then this book has been like slapstick. I really want to say it's like it reminds me a lot of like British humor, like books that I've read, like British books that I have in my collection. It reminds me so much of like a lot of stuff that like John McCrae would have worked on, some 2001 AD lighter in tone stuff. Not saying it's necessarily bad. It's just so hard when we've already had something established in one manner, and then we're like, well, now we're going to go in a totally different way. And we don't have those like fan favorite artists to carry the book. People really seem to have liked what B. Claymore was doing with the character. He helped create it, and then he's not here to do it. And I'm not. And one thing is, like, I don't think it's badly written. It's not badly written. It's just not for me.
Yeah, it's just not for me. It's far departure from the character, like you said. And then seeing these connections where they try throwing in, Woody and Quantum here, it's like they're trying to create like a silly verse, a Valiant silly verse type of thing. Quantum and Woody, and now Savage is thrown into the mix of that. I guess since he was in the far away, I guess you'd want Archer and Armstrong in there. I hope not, but that's the thing of why everyone loved Valiant, not because pterodactyls are coming in and carrying out cars by their, talons. Or their, I don't know, Stegosaurus is shooting you with an X-ray gun. It's because it's the world outside your window, right? And that's the part that's really, really missing with this book. There's so much that's happening within it. I mean, they're talking about how like the other superheroes are having a difficult time with all these animals, and Savage, who really, doesn't necessarily have a complete superhero, is besides, knowing how to kick dinosaurs' butts, is the only one that could really come in and save the day. Weird put. Yeah. And, for a book that had a lot of PC things, one thing that was really kind of frustrating when you're really trying to be PC, you should be, PC to a degree. But just the portrayal of homeless person here was kind of just, I don't know, little lowbrow on my thought. Just kind of, okay, let's use this here. Didn't think that was kind of, very fair, very, I don't know. It was, yeah. I'll go past that.
Down, maybe,
Yeah. But ultimately, I'm glad that this one's over so we can get another book in.
Yes, as far as my score on this, my score is not going to be very high. It's just very middle of the road. I mean, it's like I'm a 2.5 on this. It's just not the book for me. I liked a couple of the covers. I thought the first issue was okay, and I haven't liked it since.
Right.
They kind of do. I mean, what Nicholas is saying, does Quantum and Woody kind of exist within their own universe? That's how I read them. They exist, like, I think just like when they're in the universe, things don't quite apply. Like the laws of physics don't quite apply. I don't know.
Right. To me, yeah. Well, and they're like the single A baseball team. You hardly ever hear about anybody who plays on single A baseball, and there's a major league team out there somewhere, and you hardly hear about those minor leaguers, until somebody gets good enough to come up. That's kind of how I look at it. Is they're definitely, C-level players and not good enough to be on the A team until Elliot Rahal wrote them.
Yeah, but I think honestly, like, I've liked all the Quantum and Woody stuff, So I mean, to me, like, they're awesome, but they're one of those things that's kind of a hard sell, But you know what? The one thing I wanted to say about your comment about like the silly verse, like, I don't have a problem with there being like a corner of the Valiant universe that's a little bit more lighthearted, And Kwame and Woody, Archer and Armstrong, they do kind of fit within that. They've had team ups and things like that. And you can put Savage in that, but it's just like kind of like I was saying, like, what is he though? Like, is that the path that this character has going forward, where he's going to have these like kind of like unreal slapstick adventures, or is Valiant going to try to go back to what worked before? I don't know. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh man, I really hope it goes back to what it was before, because I loved the raw grittiness of the first series. I thought that it was a little bit of darkness was really, really cool with this guy who, had to go out and do this and basically raise himself. I mean, but it almost, I don't know, I guess to defend it, I guess I'm speaking on both ends. It also is like Encino Man, right? You get this guy that comes back as a Neanderthal, and then he's wheezing the juice with Pauly Shore. I guess that's the closest thing I can get to it, but I don't know. I hope they wouldn't try to do that. Encino Man or Tarzan and Jane, we already had Jerry O'Connor be Tarzan. It's not worth it. It didn't work then. It's not going to work now. So I hope they try to do a little bit of other items with it.
Yeah. Fair enough.
With the Weasel. That's right. Somebody got that reference. I'm glad to hear that. But I guess, I don't know if I really, really care to score it up. Yeah.
Okay. We can move on from that.
Cool.
We can move into Shadowman.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, the main event of the evening. It is Shadowman. Shadowman, Cullen Bunn, John Davis Hunt, Jordy Belair, Clayton Cowles, John Davis Hunt on the cover A, Casper Wingard on cover B, the horror movie homage cover, Francisco Villa, and then Annie Wu doing the pre-order cover. I liked all of them.
Yeah. Man, I really dig these horror covers that they're doing. They're awesome.
Oh, this one here? God,
yeah, that's just great.
So beautiful.
Yeah.
I really dug all of them. I dug this Baron Samedi, Annie Wu, who's awesome. And I dug all of the covers here. I think that there was a great looking book from the beginning, and issue number 1 had some phenomenal covers as well. So I'm glad to see that they're kind of putting into that. And Shadowman is just such a cool character design that it's hard not to like what he's on.
I agree. I really dig like the tiny little things that they've done to his appearance from this volume, from the previous volume. He just has such a really cool look that stands out. If you're like, I love the superhero aspects of Shadowman, he still has parts of that. I think his costume is like a mix now of like real world horror and like a kind of a bit of a superhero. But man, his look is just perfect.
Yeah, I'm digging it. What John Davis Hunt really is doing with it is spot on. It's what's needed. The Baron Samedi, I felt like the last Shadowman Diggle's run. I think Samedi looked a little different. This looks like a dead Jimi Hendrix come back to life, but it's still cool. It's still damn cool.
I like to think of it as like the dead side Aerosmith, because like that's part of the Valiant history is Aerosmith, man.
Oh yes, it is.
I like to think that this is like he found this in like Steve Tyler's closet, dude. He's not wearing it. They're not on tours. Pandemic.
Yeah. Eat the dead, man. Eat the dead. So,
all right, let's get into the issue.
Let's do it, man. Last issue was really cool. There was a breach in the dead side where people were going through these mirrors, doing their little rituals, sacrificing themselves, and Shadowman kicked ass, saved the day, and now they're going on a little road trip. Now they're in Arizona, right? So, and one thing I thought was interesting, they talk about Inuch, right? And it mentions it's a town, but before it got to Inuch, the town, I was like, they're seeking Inuch. Well, who the heck's Inuch? Could be a couple of things, but the one that I pulled up the most was the son of Cain from Cain and Abel in biblical pieces.
Yeah.
So I just wonder what little connections or more connections there are. There was another book that came out back in the day about a guy who came from New Orleans, and his family was kind of into voodoo. He married this older woman, and then she died, and he tried resurrecting her. He got kicked out of the town, and then became a basically a doctor murderer. And he had this like serum that kept him old, and he lived for a bunch of years. Kind of weird story, and I don't know if it's all connected at all, but they're in Enuch, Arizona, and a really interesting, creepy family involved here.
Yeah, like I thought the intro to this issue was so downright creepy and bizarre, where they're like the normal family, and then they pick up the hitchhiker, and the hitchhiker he's so like stereotypical, like the bad guy that you don't want to pick up, but then like the tables are turned so quick on him, where the family is not at all what they seem, and and then from there, like Shadowman and Samedi are walking around this ghost town, and things definitely aren't what they seem there. And there's lots of things that Jack can see within the air. He can see all these spirits, and he can feel the presence of evil and all those kind of things. And man, I mean, it just turns into just like a really great fight. And one thing that I'm really liking with this, because this was something that I felt like that Valiant and the creative team on Rye did so well, is we're getting what's mostly a done in one story. These stories are contained within one issue. If someone's like, hey, I want to check out Shadowman, you can check out issue 2. You're not going to be lost. Obviously, things are going to be building towards something bigger, but I just love this approach where it's like you don't have to sit there and get in on the ground floor necessarily. You can pick up issue 2. You're not missing out. There's not something that you didn't pick up on in the first issue if you're not reading it. But I always feel like the Valiant number ones are very easy to find as it is. So, but yeah, this was just like an incredible issue. Great art, John Davis Hunt, just delivering page after page of just beautiful work.
Oh, dude, yeah. And this image of the dude just totally reminds me of some Juan Jose Reap artwork a little bit, but it's phenomenal. Like, I love the ability of this town of it, and it's showing it going in and out of the dead side to basically real life. I completely dig how they portrayed that, and they really moved it to I guess right here's a great image of it, and then just this relationship that Samedi and Shadowman are having is pretty awesome, right? It's you definitely, Samedi's just no good. You get the vibe of that right away. He's pulling strings on Shadowman. Shadowman kind of knows that it's happening, and then there's a lot going. There's strange things afoot in and then Sean basically corrected me, Enoch, Arizona there.
Yeah. Hey, one thing I want to bring up real quick. Scott Bloom was mentioning Master Dark. And a big part of me that actually hopes that Master Dark is not in any way involved in any of this stuff, just because Rye ended with Master Dark being involved in a way, and we're still waiting on that cliffhanger. And so I'm just like, I don't know if I'm ready for like 2 dark cliffhangers. So like maybe they're building up someone else within this, or the story can just be told and it doesn't matter who it is. But there's a part of me where I'm just like, oh, I kind of hope it's not Master Dark. Plus, I always love it when there's another threat that can be built up within like a certain part of the universe. Mm-hmm. And a lot of times with like a lot of these demonic characters, Shadowman faces them and like kind of just like extinguishes them and kills them or kills them off or sends them to hell or whatever it is, that he may do. And so it's like a lot of times they're not coming back. Master Dark, Samedi, they are a lot more powerful in what the kind of being they are. So there's a reason why they can come back. I kind of hope that like we're building up something else. We're kind of building up someone a little more formidable who might pose like a threat now and in the future too.
Oh, absolutely. I am hoping for something like that. And when you look at the bulk and the length of Shadowman, I feel like you have had Master Dark involved in a bunch of the stories, right? He's had his kind of hand in a bunch of them, so it's not to a picture like Rampage, right? He's only really had such a small little bit within Bloodshot's story, and then where that went with him. So it's one of those. I do want to see him. Do I want to see him just yet, or do I want to see kind of like a good filled out story arc with some other good positive threat to come into this? So
Yeah. One thing that's been a little hard with this is there's not a lot of teasers as for what the future is going to be bringing with the next issue, but and these issues, these first two issues have been just really awesome. I think the thing that really works well with this is the fact that the last run really helped break all the shackles from Shadowman. We don't have to deal with the Jack who's trying to find himself or gain that part of him back. Like, he's just ready to go. And it's really refreshing to have that take with Shadowman. Because I feel like we haven't really had that at all.
Right. It's good to really have that. The guy who's like, and issue 1 showed that again, right? Walks into the little club, kicks their butt without even nope, I don't need superpowers for this. I got it. And then just seeing the confidence that's portrayed, he's a badass. And I love that that's being pushed off into this series as well. And when it comes to that, I completely agree with you on that.
Yeah. Should we score it?
What do you think about that weird animal villain at the end, the 3-headed whatchamacallit?
I don't know, man. I'm digging it.
Yeah.
I think this was a really good second issue. Not perfect. I mean, there's nothing necessarily wrong with it, but I don't think it was quite as special as that first issue, but it's still really good. Okay. I'm going to probably go with I hate going with the 2.5s. I hate the 2.5s, but I'm going to go with a 4.25. It's good. It's not great, but I'm really digging it. And we'll just see where it goes, but it's awesome stuff.
Yeah. You know what? I would give this a good solid A. So if I'm giving it an A, that would probably be a 4.5. So I liked it. I do think it's building off of a great kind of piece connection with these connections, these holes that are coming up from the dead side. And that's when we had Colin Bunn on. He talked a lot about how they're going to be springing up around, and it's not random, and there's a little bit more connecting the pieces. And it was alluded to in this story, in this issue of that who's pulling the strings by it. This isn't just kind of happening. Yeah, there's always kind of been some holes here and there for it, but there's more tugging the pitcher at it, and that intrigues me. Super pumped up for that. And then Nicholas asked a great question: do we see Shadowman kind of doing a crossover in the Valiant properties in the near future? I'm hoping yes, and I think with Cullen Bunn kind of doing at the helm, and knowing that he had his hand in Punk Mambo as well, which is Deadside. I'm hoping that we at least get some Deadside crossover coming back a little bit, and get a little bit to that side of it. I think that'd be damn cool. Those guys make sense to cross over frequently and often. So yeah.
Well, and plus, if you look at characters like Ninjak and Tama and the Eternal Warrior, those are characters that do kind of have to go up against Deadside villains and things like that. So there's always the possibility that they pop up, or if anything happens with those books, they're going to show up. But I would especially love to see Eternal Warrior show up in this. Just because I do feel like stuff like this is up his alley.
But we also got, again, coming back to, we also got to see him in Rye as well, right? So he's been showing his face around a little bit. I know that's in 4000 too. Scott brings up a good point of that. But hoping that, we see some that we don't always get to see.
Yeah.
and who knows, because Samedi is kind of like existent in all time, like time is nothing to him. So maybe he has some powers to kind of pull that off, and touch it back and forth. I don't know. Yeah, I just see this being an interesting story, and the lady that's in this is really kind of, she's very mysterious. She's got lots of possibilities of where and who she's connected with, or is she on her own and her powers. And yeah, I hope to see Alyssa in here down the way. Hope to see some of better stuff, maybe. Hope to see Jaunty. Yeah. Um, but ultimate good horror Shadowman kicking ass. That's cool with me.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
Dude, that was good. What what'd you guys? I know Scott said he agreed with you with the score, so I'm wrong, but you guys are right. You guys gonna hate. No. But yeah, whatever you guys are going to score, interested to see what you guys score, whether you're watching this right now live or watching on the rerun, or even audio. If you guys are listening to this on Spotify or whatnot, yeah, let us know your score. Come back to Valiant Facebook or get Valiant Facebook or over to the YouTube page and let us know what you're thinking. So, yeah, here's kind of the process right here. Like, subscribe, give us your comments, hit the bells, know when we're going live so you can participate in the chats. And, got Nicholas Brush who came into the chat. Appreciate you coming in, Nicholas. And then, of course, Scott and
David and Sean.
David came in. So, yeah. Yeah. And Scott Bloom, I'm sure if Eric was here, he'd be with me. I'm sure he would. He might even say I'm even low. So
he might.
He'd be like, dude. So fucking badass. So that's my best Eric. So
well, I don't have it. I don't think I could do it, Eric. I've never tried.
Yep.
He's one of a kind. He can't be replicated.
Cannot be replicated. But so this is coming up on June, so we're going to be getting Shadowman number 3 and 2 visitors.
That is going to be great. So,
3 books. Yeah. 3 books.
So first off, we're going to be excited to talk about the third issue of Shadowman. We love where this book's going, but I'm going to have to dig out the issues of the Visitor. It's been quite a while, but I'm glad that they're going to finish it. But why do 2 issues? Why not just give us like one giant size issue just to like be like, cool, here you go. I don't know. Doesn't matter. 2 issues is just as good as 1. But,
yeah.
The Visitor has just been sitting on my mind for a lot of time. I want to know how it really ties in. Who is the Visitor? He was someone special in the old Valiant universe. He was Pete Stanchek. He's not going to be Pete in this one, I'm pretty sure. But really curious to see like who it is. If it's someone, I might be let down if it isn't. If it's just like some random person and there's not much of a tie-in, I might be kind of sad.
Yeah. I don't know what to get my hopes up if it's a tie-in. That was my thought of why you're putting it off for so long. And you think about what book's going to be coming out soon too. Ninjak is coming out soon. Could this have a tie-in with Ninjak being around the corner? And so, yeah, I think that's kind of a big piece. Can we see that? Dude, yes, definitely dig out those Shadowmans and get ready for Shadowman number 3. Nicholas, appreciate you a lot, man, for that.
Oh, yeah. I don't know. I haven't read any of the I have not paid any attention to solicitations.
Yep. Honestly, if you're looking to dig out old issues of Shadowman 3, I would say that deluxe edition of the Andy Diggle run of the one that just got launched would be a good place to go. I loved Rapture too. Rapture would be awesome as well. So, and then of course Justin Jordan.
Yeah. You know what I want to? My question is I don't know if this is ever something that's going to get brought back up within Shadowman, although it did seem a tiny bit like something he would deal with. But like Incursion, Tama, she's kind of been infected. You know, are we ever going to see something tying with that? You know, and that book did kind of feature some of the like Dead Side players. You know, we got Dr. in that book.
That would be sick if Tama had something to do with this and these holes and what it's doing to. Oh man, yeah, what it's doing to Earth, and yeah, that would be a cool little play. I dig it.
Yeah. I'm just throwing that out there. You know, I have no inside knowledge, but I'm just saying, man. Like something that series was great. Incursion was awesome for what it was, for the 4 issues it was, but I just feel like it was supposed to lead to something bigger, and maybe the pandemic just throws a lot of stuff off filter or whatever, you know. But I'm hoping that comes back into play at some point. You know, it's a loose thread, but I hope that it gets picked up.
And who was it that wrote that book? Incursion.
I think it was like Diggle and Alex Packneedle.
Oh, really? Okay. And for some reason, I saw, is he taking over Immortal Hulk from?
Alex is doing I think just a tie-in issue. I'm not sure.
Okay.
I think that's still going to be Al Ewing.
Okay, I was going to say, because right now that's been such a great run that would be a hard shoes to fill.
I've been rereading it through Marvel Unlimited, and it's been awesome.
I like it. Yeah. So I dig that one too. So if you guys like horror, that one's been a really pretty good horror book, actually. You know, to a degree.
Yeah, it fits. I used to always think of the Hulk as a creepy thing when I was a kid. Lots of dark issues. And it kind of fits back in with that, you know. Like there's just a lot of things like when I read it, I'm just like, that's really messed up. I'm like, yeah, that's good.
I'll take it. So,
yeah. Anyway,
cool stuff, man. Well, that's it for today.
Big thanks to everyone who showed up. Nicholas, Sean, Scott, as always, we love seeing you. David. Sorry we didn't have any Eric this week, but you know what? Next time we'll try and get him to not have a life and to settle down with us.
Make sure he's there with his Mountain Dew, and we'll rock and roll. Let's do it. Y'all, see you later.